Alright, let me tell you about the time I had 2 pseudo-religious airplane-related mental breakdowns. It's December, and I'm flying back home from the holidays. I stay up the whole night before my flight because I'm a stupid idiot who is also dumb. I dash over to the local convenience store and down a monster and half a bag of spicely chipotle pistachios. My taxi arrives in the morning, and the driver looks like a vertically stretched Vin Diesel. He drops me off at the Waterloo Airport at around 12:30 p.m., a good 2.5 hours ahead of boarding time, just like the WestJet boarding pass says. I walk in and the place is empty. It looks like an abandoned Forever 21. It looks like the abyssal whale carcass boat equivalent of an airport. There aren't any WestJet employees around, so I just sit down and kind of just wait there for a while. Then, newsflash, the flight is delayed from 3:40 p.m. to 5:32 p.m. So I just kind of go, "Aye," and wait for a while more until some WestJet employees appear out of thin air and direct me to the boarding area, or I then eat an overpriced sandwich and watch and enjoy as the flight gets delayed again to 6:22 p.m. Apparently they had to do some maintenance on it while I was in Abbotsford. Finally it shows up, and I'm lining up at the gate when a bird flies in through the terminal doors and gets stuck inside the building. Quick tangent here, but I used to be very superstitious as a kid, like avoiding the numbers 4 and 13, and making sure to turn things clockwise and not counterclockwise, to the point that it would turn 270 degrees to the right instead of turning 90 degrees to the left whenever possible. I don't really do that anymore, but it comes out when I'm stressed or sleep deprived. So when a bird flies into the building and can't get out, which is a terrible omen in basically every culture, my sleep-deprived brain freaks the fuck out, and I think that I'm gonna die. Like, I legitimately think that the maintenance shop from Abbotsford will cause the plane to crash and I will die. Apparently I'm more scared of making a scene than, like, death, because I get on the plane anyway. And as I'm standing on the outside of the plane at the top of the stairs, I notice that the rain is filled in a perfect cross shape in the concrete directly below the plane, which I then interpret as a sign from God that the plane will not crash. Keep in mind, I'm not even remotely Christian, like, at all. I then realize that the cross is facing the wrong way relative to the position of the plane, making it an upside down cross, the symbol of the Antichrist, meaning that I'm now extra fucked, and I'm gonna die super hard. I spend the next 20 minutes before takeoff in a superstitious fervor trying to justify why I won't die, taking into account angles and numbers and Bible verses and a whole bunch of strange pattern matching. Again, I'm not Christian except for while I'm inside airplanes, apparently. I spend the entire flight to Calgary looking at the engine out the window every 30 seconds to make sure it doesn't fall off or something. The rest of the time I spend reading some 739-page nerd book on algorithms that I remember exactly none of. By some divine miracle, the plane does not crash and I arrive in Calgary just in time to miss my connecting flight. I was supposed to catch the 7:30 p.m. flight, but I missed that, so then I'm supposed to catch the 11:30 p.m. flight, but I just barely missed that one as well. As consolation, the customer service desk gets me free dinner and snack vouchers. It's midnight, and the only dinner place that open is Chili's that is completely full of large families, and white guys named Chris or Brandon or some combination therein. So I use my snack voucher to buy 2 bags of trail mix, which I eat in 32 seconds. And then the 11:30 p.m. flight gets delayed to 1:40 a.m. because they're waiting for the captain in Orlando or something. Presumably there was an alligator in the tarmac that ate him, and now they have to piece together the guy like a 40,320-piece Ravensburger. I should mention at this point I've been awake for 38 hours, which is far too fucking long. I feel like a Franz Kafka novel protagonist. Not that one. That one, yeah. I feel like if I move too fast I'll fall down. Like if the breeze blows slightly wrong I'll collapse like a deck of cards. My mind feels like a PowerPoint presentation with those cheesy slide transitions, and my eyes are bloodshot and it hurts to look at things. I didn't take this one at the airport actually. This was the one time I stayed out for 2 days reading the entirety of Homestuck in basically one sitting. By that one time I mean literally yesterday, or at least yesterday relative to when I'm recording this. Okay, I should probably talk about that one as well. All you really need to know about Homestuck is that it's really fucking long, like longer than War and Peace. As you can see in this explanatory diagram, I missed 2 nights of sleep and 4 meals, but then made up for it by sneaking in an additional full night of sleep into Monday. As I neared the end of Homestuck and my sanity, I began experiencing visual hallucinations, paranoia, and a bunch of other fun effects, including whatever the fuck was going through my head when I wrote this. I think my state of delirium actually enhanced my reading experience and made me understand the plot a bit better. Why did I decide to read Homestuck in this way? I wish I knew. So my mental state wasn't as bad as it was during the Homestuck incident, but my eyes were in about the same condition. I felt like absolute garbage, basically. The plane to Vancouver shows up finally, and I get on it. By this time I've read the algorithm nerd book and 1.5 Oliver Sacks books somehow. Because it's Calgary and the temperature outside is negative bajillion, they have to de-ice the planes. I've got a window seat again, being next to the wing, because I always get the window seats. I'm staring across the other airplane on the other side of the de-icing place, and I marvel at its beauty and mass and sheer power, and I become very sad that I cannot become a plane. Like I couldn't have been aboard an airplane, despite the fact that the life of an airplane is very depressing, probably. I don't know, I'm not a plane. But my sadness quickly vanishes when the de-icing machines show up and do sort of graceful ballet, and the water droplets reflect in the light, and it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I stare at them for like 25 minutes or however long they take to finish the de-icing procedure. At this point my brain can no longer register the concept of time anyway. This is pseudo-religious mental breakdown number 2 by the way, but this one is more of an enlightening experience than a complete and utter panic. I try to sleep on the flight, but I can't, so I think about the de-icing machines instead. Finally, I'm back in Vancouver at 3 a.m. local time. By the way, I was supposed to be here at like 9 p.m. yesterday. I take a taxi back from the YYZ, and the driver breaks every speed limit imaginable and gets me home in record time. I go inside my house, stagger into my bedroom, and collapse on the bed for 15 hours or so. My parents probably think I died. I probably did die. Moral of the story? Don't fucking meet Homestuck.